Just when you thought things couldn't possibly get any more complicated in Syria, yeah, it did. And it is a textbook example for why we should never have gotten involved. As you know, the civil war has been raging for 7 years, killing 500,000 people. Dozens of factions and militias involved. The U.S. military stepped in to try to squash terrorist organizations like ISIS. The Kurds, they have been helping us do that. But now the battle against ISIS is mostly over. Turkey has begun attacking the Kurds. So what do? Abandon the Kurds or fight our fake NATO ally Turkey? And that's before we even consider what to do about Iran, Russia, and a newly resurgent al-Qaeda. In other words, what are we doing there? Joining me now, Fox News strategic analyst, Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters. Welcome back to the show, Lieutenant Colonel.
Always great to speak with you, Kennedy.
Thank you so much.
Even on grim topics.
It's so grim, but like you said, my friend, I'm the Duchess of Doom.
La belle dame sans merci.
Oui. Je vous en prie. All right, so let's discuss this a little bit, because we are now in a position where we can't attack Turkey because they're a NATO ally, and we can't help the Kurds because Turkey's attacking them, but the Kurds have helped us out so much. Why don't we just kick Turkey out of NATO?
Well, that's a good question. I agree with you 100%. The first step should be moves to suspend NATO. It's a complicated process, but we can do it. Now, we have long been allied with Turkey, but Turkey has become a worse and worse ally. In fact, it's already transitioned from frenemy to virtual enemy.
I agree completely. I think this regime is horrible.
Yeah, look, President Erdogan of Turkey has destroyed Turkish democracy. He's Islamized the country to the extent he's been able to, and he continues to do so. He backs the Muslim Brotherhood internationally. Yeah. He's put tens of thousands of political opponents in jail. He's crushed the local media, and now he's attacking America's best allies in the Middle East outside of Israel. Clear-cut situation here. Turks bad, Kurds good, us stupid. And why am I saying... Yeah. Why are we stupid? Because although it was important to crush the caliphate, yes, and the Kurds, the boots on the ground, the Kurds are the ones giving blood on the ground, and they helped us. But we have no clear long-term strategic goal in the area. It's all very nebulous. And also beyond that, we don't understand. After decades and decades of failure, we still imagine that in the Middle East, we can be the honest broker. Honest brokers don't exist in the Middle East. You pick a side and you stick to it. Putin understands it.
But what if the sides change?
Well, you know, the Kurds don't. We've been protectors of and then allies with the Kurds for 25 years. Yeah. There are at least 30 to 40 million, probably 40 to 50 million Kurds. Nobody allows an accurate census in the region. They've struggled long and hard for freedom. They've done everything we've asked them.
They got screwed after World War I, and we've never made it right.
At first, that's correct. And we had a chance in 2003 to break up Iraq. I mean, remember, all these countries in this region, the borders were drawn by greedy Europeans for their own purposes, in ignorance of local conditions, willful ignorance. And now, if we walk away from the Kurds, if we let the Turks slaughter Kurds, what little shred of credibility we have left in the region just goes away. And also, look, I'm a realpolitik guy most of the time, but ethically guided realpolitik. And you don't abandon your allies because you don't do it in practical terms. It gives you a bad name. But also ethically. When people have given blood beside you or for you, yeah, you owe them something.
Absolutely.
And the Kurds, we should protect.
That changes the terms, and we should be protecting them. They're the only ones who have honestly been allied with us over there. And it's confusing and it's scary, and you're right, we don't have a clear objective. Russia knows what they want over there. Iran knows what they want over there, and I don't see how any of that leads to the conclusion that we somehow know what we want.
Yeah, and that's absolutely true. Our greatest weakness in the Middle East has these kind of warm and fuzzy, inchoate, inarticulate goals that barely squeak by the interagency process here in D.C. Look, in the Middle East, you better know what you want, and you better go for it directly to get it, and you better have friends and allies to help you. Well, friends is the wrong word. Allies is a better word. No friends in the Middle East outside of Israel, and to an extent the Kurds. But the bottom line is this. You nailed it. The Russians know what they want. They're getting it. Iranians know what they want. They're getting it. Bashar al-Assad, the butcher of Syria, knows what he wants. He's getting it. We don't know what we want, and our allies are getting shafted.
Yeah, and I think that's the deadliest position we can be in, when we don't know what we want, and we're halfway committed to something. Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters, thank you very much for your insight.
Thank you, Kennedy.
Very good.